Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Friday night. Glad to have everyone in here tonight. We've got a great and fantastic guest in here tonight. We're going to have Mr. Andrew from Andrew's Adventures. Now, Andrew can be found on TikTok. So if you are a TikTok person, go check out TikTok and you can check out Andrew's channel. He does some amazing things. He finds a lot of fossils. He digs a lot of relics. He lives in South Carolina, so he's already a great guy, in my opinion, just for being a South Carolinian. And so I've been watching Andrew's channel and watching what he's been doing for the last few years. I thought he'd be a fantastic guest to have on here tonight. So if you are on TikTok, go check out his channel. I think you'll find it very informative. You'll find it very interesting. And he does a lot of diving too. So he gets in the water and hunts for these big megalodon teeth and all those types of things. So we're gonna talk to him about how he finds all those types of things, what his favorite finds are from relic hunting, what he's running as a metal detectorist as far as his machines. He's also a Coiltech representative, and we're going to talk a little bit about Coiltech coils with Andrew as well. So real excited to have Andrew on here. So without further ado, let's bring on this great crew, and there they are. There's Mr. Andrew, and there's NC Relic Hunter.
How you doing, Andrew?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm thrilled to be on here with y'all. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
Doing
yeah, and,
good. Doing real good.
Awesome.
Andrew is a great guy, and again, he lives down in the Charleston, South Carolina area, and he has the chance to find some unbelievable things, and I wanted him to share some of those things and talk a little bit about what he does and so on. So again, glad to have Andrew. Andrew, welcome to the channel tonight. We really appreciate you taking your time out on a Friday night and being here with us. So thanks again, Andrew. So
Not a
so real
problem.
so real quick, tell everyone about your metal detecting experience and tell them what are some things that you really like to do metal detecting and fossil hunting.
So, I guess I'll give a quick kind of background on how I got into metal detecting and just early on in life. For whatever reason, I guess it's just the way the good Lord made me. I have always just enjoyed exploring and finding stuff. So when I was young, if you weren't finding me climbing a tree or out fishing in a pond, I was probably in a creek somewhere, just seeing what I could find. A lot of times it was trash, but every now and then, you find a little arrowhead or something like that. So from an early age, I was just always interested in the outdoors and just seeing what I could find. And then one day I got to meet my grandparents' neighbor, Mr. Bob. Some people may know him, Robert Shelton,
Okay.
in Kenny, Texas. And he had just gotten back from a big, like, week or 2 week long metal detecting trip in Mexico. And he was showing me all these musket balls and
Yeah.
military regalia and such that he had found, and I was just fascinated. And I knew at that point I was probably about 8 years old, and I'm 33 now.
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted to be friends with Mr. Bob,
Yeah. There you
and
go.
I think to an extent, I think anyone that metal detects or fossil hunts that wasn't introduced by their parents or a sibling probably has that Mr. Bob in their life who maybe they're a YouTube personality type individual for Garrett or one of the big detecting channels out there. But I think we can all say we can point to that one individual or individuals that kind of got us really hooked on the idea of treasure hunting like this. And so I think it was within a year he took me out to this old cornfield in McKinney, Texas, where before Texas was Texas and it was owned by Mexico. They had these big, huge land grants, and this particular cornfield had a little house site on it that was one of those 1830s early Texas settlement house sites. And I was just thrilled picking up little pieces of white porcelain pottery, and some of those I still have somewhere in my closet. And Well, I thought I was hot stuff finding that with him, and it just grew from there. My first machine I got was a White's, and then eventually got some Fisher machines and whatnot. And then years went by. I did a lot of local parks and door knocking at early 1900s houses because I just could not get on a North Texas military site. And eventually, my company wanted me to move to Charleston, and I absolutely jumped at the chance. As Charleston's in South Carolina has some primo metal detecting in the United States, so I was all
Right.
about that. And yeah, I moved out here, and the rest is history. I just have been blessed with meeting some wonderful friends out here, and through work and through social media and whatnot. And they've had some sites. I've managed to get some sites, and we've shared and acquired more sites, and just keep on growing this thing.
Well,
So
there's some great comments coming through. Button Digger says he's got socks older in his drawer than you, Andrew.
probably so.
So I know that my partner over there, Mr. NC Relic Hunter, he's going to really take a good shining to you because he's a hunter, and I know you love to hunt too, right?
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
got a couple of them right behind me.
right. And he's
Yeah,
a big
I'm
deer
going in the
hunter.
morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he really loves the deer hunt, and so Michael's real excited that you came on with us tonight too, because I know he loves that deer hunting and he loves getting out there. So
Oh
again,
yeah.
yeah, Michael really loves that as well. So before we get going, I'm going to do a couple of shout outs as we always do. And make sure that we recognize some of these folks that are on here tonight. And again, we appreciate everyone being on here tonight and being a part of the show with Michael and Andrew and myself. So let's recognize a couple of people. We got Mr. Detect Meister all the way from Ireland. So Andrew, you're getting an Ireland fan right now as well. So we're
Oh,
glad to have
awesome.
the Tag Meister. We got Button Digger all the way from snowy Central Virginia. It's snowing up there in Virginia right now. So
Yeah.
that's really, really cool. We got Mr. Button Digger in the house. Glad to have Mr. Button Digger as well. We've got Ohio Fred. He says hello from the teens in the snow in Ohio. We hate that it's so cold for you guys, but we're going to enjoy this warm weather in North Carolina and South Carolina, right, guys?
It's not too warm. It's
Absolutely.
pretty chilly out there. I just come in.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
still warm enough to dig holes in the ground though, so
That's
Oh yeah,
right.
that's
So
right. Yeah.
we are blessed in that avenue. We got Mr. Budsaw in here. He says good evening to all. Mr. Doug Atkins is in here. He says good evening from South Louisiana.
hey,
Glad
what's
to
up, Doug?
have Doug in here with us. We got Mr. LC Hunt says a chilly hello to all. Glad to have LC with us tonight. We've got Mrs. Bells in the house. Says good evening, everyone. Glad to have Bells with us as always. Mr. CZ Digger is in the house. Glad to have CZ with us. Says hi to Aggie Hall, who's also in here. So we'll probably see Aggie's name in just a few minutes. And there she is, Miss Aggie Hall. Says evening, everyone. Glad to have Aggie in the house. We got Mr. Old Timer 5037. He says good evening from snowy Southern Virginia. So a lot of those Virginia folks are joining in with us. There's one of our main subscribers and main supporters, Mr. Diggin Darrell in the house. Glad to have Diggin Darrell in the house with us as always. We appreciate him. And there's Mr. Metal Detecting Texas. And of course, we just heard Andrew say he's from Texas. So
I
Matt,
am.
Metal Detecting Texas. There's another Texan in the house with us, a South Carolinian and a North Carolinian with us. So again, glad to have Matt in here with us from Metal Detecting Texas. There's Mr. Ricky Bennett. Says good evening, everyone, and happy Friday night. Glad to have Ricky in the house with us. There is Jeep Girl from TikTok, and she's been on here with us as well. Glad to have Jeep Girl in the house, and she says she knows Andrew too. Says Andrew finds some amazing things, which he really does, and we know that. That's why we chose him to be on here with us tonight. We got Mr. Surfside Dan in the house, one of our main subscribers and main supporters of our channel. Glad to have Dan with us tonight, as always. We've got Jay Rummy in the house. Says hello, guys and gals. Big Civil War show in Franklin, Tennessee today. Yeah, the American Digger show is in Franklin, Tennessee, I
That's right.
believe,
Yeah.
tonight. We've got Mr. Diggin' Dude all the way from New York. Glad to have Diggin' Dude, also great supporter and subscriber of the channel. Mr. 5 Mile Relic Hunter says evening from the great state of Missouri. Glad to have 5 Mile in here with us. We got Mr. Michael Workman says good evening, everyone. Glad to have Michael in the house with us. Don't want to miss anybody. Going down the list, Mr. Alan Marshall's in the house all the way from Oklahoma, over there near Texas, Andrew. So not far from where you were. And we've got, let's see here, Mr. Brad Caudle, all the way from South Carolina. Another South Carolinian in the house. Wanted to see Andrew as well. And there he is, Mr. Old Pelon. Glad to have Old Pelon in here also. Fantastic supporter of that channel. So while you guys are here and we just gave y'all some shout outs, hit that thumbs up button. We would greatly appreciate it. We got a great show here. And Andrew's going to fill us all full of great information tonight. And we're going to get a couple of things from Michael too as well. So this should be a fantastic show as we go through some of this stuff. There's Mr. Gary Hulls in the house. Says I'm driving home, but wanted to say hello from Southern Oregon. Glad to have Gary in the house. Let's see. Did I miss anybody, Michael? Give him a shout out if I missed him.
Jay Rodney, 73.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get him?
I did get Jay
Yeah,
Rumney.
I think
I
you
thought I
got
did.
everybody.
Yeah, he says,
Okay.
and he says, Workman, I'm heading there tomorrow. Also, Michael. So there we go. So, all right. Let's talk a little bit, Andrew. Tell us a little bit about um, tell us about metal detecting in Charleston, South Carolina. I know a lot of people um, know that Charleston's known for its history, its colonial history. What are some great things and some things that you found down in Charleston, real quick?
Well, I'm gonna, I guess, take a trip over to the Relic case,
Mm-hmm.
and will I be able to flip my camera
You
while we're on here?
you should be able to.
Let's
I think you can. Try to flip it right now. Hopefully it
let's
doesn't.
see here. I did this full screen. I don't know how to get out of this full screen.
It might not let you. That was the only. You might have to
I
hold it
think,
up and
yeah,
Oh,
I
try.
hang
think
on.
you hit that.
I
Hit
figured
the
out how
little
to
gear. Yeah.
settings. Let's see. Okay, I figured out how to do it. Here we go. All right. So this is my. If I do the back, actually, I can do a dual camera here. Let's see if it'll allow.
Oh no, it took him out. It took him out. I didn't
Didn't
think
like
it would,
that.
but I was hoping it wouldn't. So he'll be right back with us. There he is. So
Yeah.
yeah, it won't let. That's there we go. Okay, now he's got to look at all those amazing megalodon teeth up there up top.
That's some big ones.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
I recently redid the case a little bit to highlight. I wanted one shelf here to be just megalodon teeth. I've got a mixed assortment of teeth down there. I've got kind of some of my highlight metal detecting finds there that I have in flat cases, and then some bottles and such that couldn't go into flat cases, and a
right,
few
right.
odds and ends up here. See, I guess I'll start. I'm gonna start with the heavy stuff. So if I get tired, I don't have to lift it later.
Well, that's all right.
Um,
Just show us what some of your favorite ones.
oh, this is probably one of my favorite ones, and it's in conjunction with a couple pieces that I'll show up top in just a second. This came from a site that had both Rev War and Civil War activity, predominantly Rev War.
Right.
It's the correct size for either a Confederate drive-in fuse or a Rev War howitzer, and it still has the lead shot inside of it.
Oh
Um,
wow, that is so cool.
I've shown it to a few different people. I've brought it to the Charleston Relic show, and I've gotten a mixed bag of opinions on it. I've heard some people say it's absolutely Confederate drive-in. I've had other people say if they think it's U.S. Rev War. Ultimately, may need to have it X-rayed. I just don't know who to have X-ray it that's not going to want to call a bomb squad or something out. I mean, there's
Okay.
no fuse in there. It is completely inert. It's safe unless you drop it on your toe. Um, but I just have always loved that one. It's a little mysterious for me, but
Right.
love it nonetheless. A little bit more on the diving side. This one's just already
Yeah.
down there on the bottom. This was actually before I even got into scuba diving. I was just free diving. Basically, we were holding our breaths for 5 or 10 seconds, and we'd bring cinder blocks with us on the Edisto River and
Right.
use those to just kind of help us get down through the current. And yeah, I got this 1830s to 1840s transitional squat ale, and the liquid in there you're seeing is actually river water.
Right.
I think it's kind of fun having the river water, in there with it. It's sealed
Yeah.
up and it doesn't leak, and so I just think it's kind of fun.
That's a great bottle. I don't know if
Yeah.
you can see I've got a few of those back there behind me as
hmm
well.
That one on the far right on the second shelf, that looks like that's probably a square case gin. Is that
Right.
right?
It is.
Okay. All right. I like those gin bottles.
Oh yeah. We've been blessed with finding some great things too. I don't do the diving that you do, but I have been in the river and I have gotten some of those things from the banks and from
hmm
trash pits and those types of things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Some of the best times to go is after a big flood and get out there once the water level is receded. It's safe to be out there and you can find some good stuff poking out from the bank.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So show us some of those coins and buttons you got down there, Andrew,
All
because I know you
right.
got
I'll start
some
I'll
really.
start with probably the real fun case first. Let me get a couple of these hoodies off this chair real
You're
quick.
good. You're good. You're good.
Here we go. Get us in some good lighting here. There's only one coin in here that's not a personal find. It was a gift from Bob. I'll just start with that one. But it's a nice Spanish 8 real, I believe. Yeah, 1806 on there, and the back of it is just covered. If it'll focus, is it focused for y'all?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
see
that's
it
a
really
beautiful
good.
coin.
Perfect. Yeah, it's just covered in chop marks on there,
Yeah.
where different foreign traders would take a metal punch stamp into it to see if it was silver plated or if it had a silver center to it. If they were suspicious on the weight, that's what they would do. That's what a chop mark is. Um, let's see here. My other favorite piece in here is teeny tiny. I'm not sure if it's going to focus. Looks like it may be in focus now.
Okay.
But this is a little itty bitty 18 karat gold colonial cuff button with a Tudor rose insignia on the front, which is the
Oh
heraldic
wow,
symbol
Andrew,
for England.
that's a beautiful one.
Yeah,
Sure
it's got
is.
the yeah, it rang up. I want to say a 1 to a 3 on the 800. And the only reason I dug it is because it was a colonial house site that we'd pulled probably 100 plus buttons from. Um, Not in this case. It's actually not even in this state. I've got a few finds that stay at the folks' house and they're safe. But from that same site, I got a Globe and Pillars 2 real and a KG2 in the same hole, almost sandwiched together.
Oh wow.
So we knew it was a great spot to dig, obviously, with the amount of good finds that we'd been pulling out, and there was no human trash out there. So I figured, well, it's a repeatable signal. Let's dig it. And that's what it ended up being. And pretty much every real that you see in here came from that little house site. All of these guys right here, this little cut two pistarine came from there. The date is cut off from it, but 1723 is my understanding on it.
That was a great
Little just
sign.
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
really good site. It still could be some Rev War buttons came from there. I wasn't lucky enough to pull one of those first, but that's just kind of the way she goes sometimes. Another kind of notable piece in here. It's a little small, so I don't know if it'll focus well,
Yeah,
but
that's a beautiful ball button, right?
yeah. We weren't sure. Well, it's silver, so we weren't sure if it was a silver ball button or if it potentially was like a little trade item with the natives in the area. Could have been both. Could be a ball button that was just made for trade. Um, that's a little left a speculation item there, but um, I know, Michael, you like to hunt. There's a hunting
Right.
related one for you. If you were kind of the wealthy elite back in the day, you would have probably liked to fox hunt and run hound dogs. And on this cuff button right here is I had to flip it over. It's a fox that's running on there.
Right.
Tally
And
Yeah.
ho.
it says, yeah, Talio. They've
Yeah.
actually excavated in much better condition that exact same style of cuff button from George Washington's house in Mount Vernon.
Right. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great
the
one.
whoever lived at that house, I would have loved to have known who they were because they definitely had some money.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
And I'd like to have heard their take on that area. A bunch of these KG2s, KG3s. There may be a farthing in there. I know there's a Hibernia in there, and there is a 17. Is it the 98 or the 99 large cent? That's the rare one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's one that's in there. It's not the rare one. It's 1 to 2 years, but that one came from there. I think uh, probably 2 or 3 Christmases ago, just in real nice condition.
Yeah, those are beautiful finds.
Yeah,
Beautiful finds.
beautiful. I won't talk too much on the finds, but this one here and then the next case are pretty cool. The piece in the middle there, all of these are Rev War British items, but this is all pieces to a Brown Bess. I'm assuming the same gun. But that escutcheon plate right there, that thumb plate in the middle has regimental numbers on it.
Oh, that's really cool. Do you
They were,
do you have do you have a slave tag, Andrew? There we
I
go.
do.
There we
It's
go.
right there.
Oh, show them that slave
Yeah,
tag because a lot of people, I mean, they've never seen those slave tags before. So that might be something too that I think a
certainly.
lot of people will appreciate. Of course, it's a piece of history. It's a great piece of history. So yeah, let's look at that now. What's on? Is that a servant porter? Which one is that or mechanic?
This one's a servant. I wish it was a mechanic.
Right.
That would have been the bee's knees on that. If I could find a flashlight, well, they're all in boxes. It displays much better if you put a flashlight on it. I've never had this restored. But up here on the top, it's going to read Charleston.
Right.
Charleston was the only city in the country that developed the tag system. The next item that you'll see right here is the issued number, which was in this case 739. So this was the 739th servant tag issued. In the bottom says the year 1815. And then the third row in the middle of all that says the occupation of servant. Um, on the back, if we flip it over, it's kind of tough to see, but you can make out the corner of the stamp right there, which was
Sure.
Lafar. Yeah, Lafar was a silversmith in Charleston, and he was one of the predominant, foremost makers of these tags. And another interesting piece to note is while there were a few different varieties of shapes, some circles, I think a few of them could have been oval. The square or diamond, if you will, was the most common, and they alternated every year how they positioned. So all of the odd years will be positioned like this, and then generally all of the even year Lafars would be positioned with the little hole right here.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
It's interesting.
So I've dug a circular slave tag,
Okay.
Andrew, which has got 1803 on it.
Ooh, it's an early one.
Yeah, which I don't know that people have seen many of those, but
Mm-mm. They're not common.
no, they're not common at all. The only problem is I've only dug the bottom half of it. It's not the whole
Mm.
tag, which I wish I had the whole
Okay.
tag, because if I had the whole tag, then that would mean that I had something really, really special. So
Oh, you still got something special. It's just half as special.
yeah, half is special, a quarter of a special, really.
No, that's anytime you can pull a piece like that, whether it's in pristine condition or you can definitively say this is what it is. I consider it to be a great find.
Hmm.
A collector may have different opinions, but I really don't sell anything that I find.
Right.
I'd rather donate or give someone something that I know that they're going to appreciate for years to come before selling it. Um, yeah, this the video I posted of this, that one created a big old fuss on TikTok. I learned a lot about the world with that
Right.
one. I
Oh
actually
yeah.
pulled that video.
Yeah.
People they got pretty aggressive on it. For
Yeah.
those of y'all
Well.
who don't know the background of the tag system, Charleston developed the tag system. Some people say certain things, some people say others. The reason that I've heard the most common is that they were wanting to do away somewhat with the idea of just enslaved people, and they realized that, hey, some of these folks are really pretty sharp, and you know we probably ought not just have them out in a field.
Sure.
And so they figured out that, hey, some of these guys are and gals are really good at picking fruit, which, believe it or not, is a pretty skilled task. You have to know that it's at the correct stage to pick it. You have to know more or less how to pick it, so on and so forth. It's not just go out, hey, the corn is ready to pick. You've got to place it well so it doesn't bruise and damage. So anyways, they had mechanic tags, they had porter tags. Servant is a different occupation. They had huckster, fisherman.
Right.
Anyway, so essentially what they would do is the master would go buy these tags. They would basically pay a yearly. It's kind of like how the old dog tag system works for
Right.
having a dog license, if you will. And so they would have one, and then they could hire them out to go help their neighboring you know plantationer or whomever to go and fix something or just help them do something that they needed some more skilled labor for.
Right. Right.
And as long as they were wearing the tag, visibly had it on, people knew, okay, hey, like they're supposed to be here. They're on a set destination. We're really not going to mess with them.
Yeah. Well, those are some amazing finds. I mean, anybody I know that sees these finds are going to go, "Oh my God, that's unbelievable!" As far as as far as those finds, and of course, we live in an area where we have the opportunity to find a lot of those finds as well, and people don't realize that there's just so much history in our area,
Mm-hmm.
especially here in South Carolina, as it was one of the first 13 colonies, and naturally the British and the colonial period thrived in Charleston. In fact, Charleston was one
Mm-hmm.
of the largest cities in the United States or in America,
Mm-hmm.
before the Revolution. So a lot of people
Correct.
don't realize that, and I think that's a good opportunity to actually sort of tell everyone that. And again, there were more skirmishes in the American Revolution and more battles in South Carolina than there were in any other colony during that
Mm-hmm.
period. So again, it really shows what was going on here and how important it is to American history. And
Mm-hmm.
you've got so many great things there on in that case. Tell us a little bit about your megalodon teeth hunting and so on. And what do you look for, and where do you go, and how do you find some of these spots that you come across where you find these types of teeth?
Oh, I'm
Do,
gonna
do you
do a
find
like
those
a
teeth?
Yes, I don't think I have a single tooth in here that I've bought. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've bought any fossils in South
How
Carolina.
many did you
Everything you
find?
see in here is finds. So to talk about the megalodon, I actually have to talk about a different shark first, and kind of I'll pull a few teeth out to show them side by side, and then we'll go over into the Meg. And I've got to pull the transitional one out. I just got to find it in here if I can. I've got a few to look through. Um, it's not jumping out at me immediately. That's okay. Um, Not a problem on that. So, of course, we're gonna pull out some big megalodon teeth since we're talking about them, but they also obviously had small megalodons because before you get big, you got to do some growing. So the ancestor to the megalodon is the Angustidon, and they're very easily identifiable because they have these little cusps on the side.
Right.
This one may present a little better from the back. This is probably my primo tooth I've ever found. It's just a very rare color in Charleston. You almost never find it. Up in North Carolina, where y'all get more red dirt, you can find those a little bit more prevalently. But anyways, so here are a couple small megalodon teeth from some juveniles in the posterior of their mouth. This one, obviously, a little bit bigger shark right there. But they're always very easily identifiable on a megalodon because they have this burlette right here.
Wow.
And I'll pull a tooth that you can see it much better on. This one I actually just got back with in November. I went down to Florida, down to Bone Valley.
Okay.
But Megs and Angustidens are pretty much the only fossil shark's teeth that you're going to see that burlette on. And that's not where the enamel's peeled away. That's just the way the teeth grew in.
Hmm.
And then in terms of your larger megalodon shark's teeth, this one's probably right at about 4 inches, and you measure them from the tip of the root to the tip of the blade right there. And then this was my first ever one on my very first dive. This one I want to say was like 4 3/8, 4.5, somewhere around there. The biggest ones ever found, there's a few of them out there that are 7 inches. Really, the average on the largest you're ever going to find is going to be 6 to 6.5 inches. Um, I do
So,
have.
so
Go ahead.
Andrew, did those come from Charleston?
All of them except that one that I showed you. Everything
Right.
in that case came from Charleston. Charleston is a pretty much a primo megalodon fossil hunting destination. People come from all over the world to find shark's teeth here. Um, Here is two halves of 5 inch teeth. One's about 5 1/4. The other one's about 5 3/8.
Right.
And I'll just put those next to that 4.5er right here, just to kind of give a little comparison. There's my hand. Um, and yeah, no, they're really fun to find, especially when you're diving. For any of y'all who have done any diving underwater, everything looks bigger through the goggles. So when you're diving and you see a 4 inch tooth like this, it's gonna look like a 6 inch tooth, and it's just like, a few extra air bubbles come up to the surface when you spot one like that down there. And in Charleston, it's considered black water diving. It's pretty dangerous.
Right.
Um,
Right.
below 7 feet, you really don't get any sunlight. We're diving with headlamps and flashlights. I dive with both, and on a good day, I think the best visibility I've seen is maybe 6 or 7 feet. On a bad day, the visibility can be as close as about your hand in front of your face. And I'm not kidding. I mean, go in the closet, turn off the lights, and if your headlamp and flashlight batteries die when you're, you know, deeper than 7 feet down, it's just like being in your closet. The only difference is you've got that much water above you,
Right.
Lord knows what around you, and hopefully the current's not going too fast.
So
Right.
Andrew, a 4.5 to 5 inch tooth. What size would the shark be?
Uh, I want to say they estimate for every inch of tooth, it's about 7 feet of shark. So a 4 inch tooth on the small side is coming from about a 30-foot shark. Um, I think that estimate is predominantly based off of the front teeth. So unless you find a tooth that you can definitively say from the jaw structure came from the front. So for instance, if this tooth right here is probably a front tooth. So it's very triangular in shape and it's an upper jaw tooth. So it's probably very close to the front of the mouth. If we were to get into a tooth from a megalodon that's more like this, where you can see it's much skinnier, it is going to fit in the bottom like that.
Oh,
And
wow.
then if you get into some of the other ones, I'm trying to find one that's a little bit less triangular in shape. Um, Here's a couple right here. So you can see that these teeth, while smaller, they have a little bit of a curve to them right there.
Right.
So both upper jaw teeth, but they're going to be further towards the back. So that rule of thumb is better based off of these bigger, larger triangular teeth where it's very even links on both sides. But I think it's pretty safe to say roughly about every inch of tooth, it's about 7 to 10 feet, depending on the scientist that you ask. So a 6 inch tooth probably coming from a 50 to 60 foot shark.
Wow.
Wow.
That is so
Yeah,
cool.
basically picture your school bus pulling up to the local school bus stop and just imagine it as a shark.
Yeah. That's about how big it would
That's
be.
that's about how big they are. Yeah, big old big old meat eaters out there. I would
Yeah.
not want to hook into one of those.
Right, exactly, exactly. So, Andrew, let's switch gears and let's go over to your metal detecting stuff. I know you just shared a lot
Okay.
of fossils and talked a little bit about fossils. I know if you flip your camera around, you're probably going to get disconnected, but you can
Yeah.
pop right
Yeah.
back on. Flip your camera around real quick, and we'll wait on you. But
Okay.
go ahead.
Sounds good. All right. Give me 1 second. Let's
You're
see if it's
good. You're
gonna
good.
keep me connected or not. Let's
Yeah,
see. Front
it
camera.
probably won't, but that's okay. Yeah, flipping the camera on the iPhone. Michael, can you hear me okay? They're saying my volume was a little bit low.
I can hear you fine. Yeah, I saw that, but you sound fine to me.
Well, I've turned everything up that I can possibly turn up. So hopefully, is everybody hearing me okay? So there's Andrew. Let's get him back on here. So here we go. All right. Well, you're back on with
Okay.
us, Andrew. All right. So, Andrew, I know that you do a ton of metal detecting. You just showed us a few of your finds.
Yes.
What's
Hmm.
the metal detector that you love to use? What's your preferred metal detecting down in Charleston, South Carolina?
I would have to say right now my go-to machine, it's kind of a tie between the Equinox 800 and the 900. I have a lot more hours on the 800, so I'm a little more comfortable with it. That might make it the ultimate winner. I think the 900, I like the tones on it a little better. I think they're just a little bit punchier than they are on the 800. I think the sensitivity and the response time and such are just a little faster. But if you told me grab your gear, we're going out the door right now standpoint, we're going to go hit a primo untouched Civil War spot, I'm probably going to grab the 800 and I'll bring my Manicore as a backup. I have not a lot of time on it at Relic sites, mostly beach time with it, but um, I definitely believe that's a great machine and
Right.
wouldn't hesitate to just run it in a stock setting if some battery failure happened or something like that.
Right.
Right.
So Andrew was talking about the 900, and I have a 900 myself. And Andrew is also a representative for Coiltech. So and this is the coil that Andrew and I both love. So I thought it would be a great chance for Andrew to sort of talk about why he prefers this coil versus the stock coil, and why he likes these Coltech coils with the Equinox 900. So, Andrew, fill everybody in on why you run those Coltech coils and that elliptical coil on your 900.
What is it, 10 by 5? Is that right?
Pardon? Yeah, correct.
Five
10
by
by
yeah,
5. Yeah.
yeah, 10
Yeah.
by
10,
5.
10 inches long, 5 inches wide. Um, the biggest selling point to me on that coil was twofold. Number one, it was lightweight, but due to the shape, you're still getting the same amount of coverage that you would on, say, a larger 10-inch round coil or
Right,
whatnot.
right,
So I liked the pros of coverage to weight ratio on the coil. So you get less arm fatigue. You can stay in the field longer. You get a tired arm. You start getting sloppy, and um, you got to have good technique if you want to be out there and be effective.
right,
I don't really do a lot of pasture hunting. There's just really not a lot of pastures here in Charleston. It's either developed land with houses or it's wooded timber areas and marshy areas. So a lot of vegetation, trees, scrub, and whatnot to get through. And that coil being narrow like that allows you to kind of snake in between those little obstacles and vines and whatnot. Get in some of those areas that you really just can't get a coil into effectively when they're just round.
right.
Um,
I think Bud
so
Digger
for
brought up a
me,
good point. That 10 by 5 coil still carries a very premium price, and the reason for that is because you can use it on so many different machines at this point. You
correct.
you can use it on the Elite. If you have the MindLab Elite, you can use it on the 900, the 800.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you got a couple of different machines that you can run that coil on, and it is
Yeah.
a
Right.
fantastic coil, and I've used it, I've run it. It is my preferred coil on the Equinox, especially in heavy iron and heavy trash. Just like Andrew said, where we hunt is just it's not just field hunting. I mean, it is getting in the woods, dealing with tons and tons of iron, and getting out in these places and being able to maneuver between that iron. And I really like that elliptical shape for that. And that's the
Hmm.
reason why I like the Deus 2 HF2 elliptical. It's the
Hmm.
same reasons that I like that 10 by 5 elliptical as
Yes.
well. So it just performs so great in our area. So again, if you are a MindLab Equinox 900 user or an 800 user or an Elite user, it is a
It
great.
also
Go
the
ahead,
six
Andrew.
and seven hundred. The 6 and 700 will take it as well.
Right. You can
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
it on all of those machines and it just performs extremely well. So a lot of people are probably wondering, how did you find that? Were you running that elliptical coil when you found that slave tag and some of those other finds that you just showed?
Uh, I was not. I had just moved to Charleston. I hadn't even lived here for 6 months at the time.
Right.
I was actually running my old Fisher F-75, which
Right.
also stopped oil elliptical. Um, that's another great machine until my buddy backed over it with a truck, and now it's
Oh
held together with duct
no.
tape. It
That's
still
not good.
works. It's still a good one, but she's kind of a, garage queen now. I just look at her and have good memories.
Right.
Right.
um, but yeah, that's really why. As soon as I heard someone made an elliptical coil for the Equinox machines, I was like, gotta have it. Went on a witch hunt. I was even considering buying it from Canada and Europe because I was like, no, I'm gonna be the first person in Charleston to have one. And of course, a few people beat me to it because they knew about it before me and got them at the Charleston Relic show for some kind of smoking deal or something. But eventually, I tracked one down out of Texas. Wayne Moore, who owns Metal Detecting stuff out of Houston, knew about my search and gave me a phone call. Said I got one, and I said I'm your buyer.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
they
love
they
that
also
coil.
they yeah, and I love it in the iron too. Like you said earlier, it's really good in the iron. I've got a great program that I run on it. I couldn't tell you the program off the top of my head, but if any of y'all want to know the program, hit me up on TikTok, and shoot me a message. I'll be happy to share that program with y'all.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
It's
I
pretty.
got a
It's
question.
Yeah.
go
Um,
ahead.
I know you have ties with Coil Tech, and probably I've wondered this as well. Um, do you think they may come out with that 10x5 for the Manicore, or
I,
any coils for the Manicore?
We talked about this earlier, and
yeah, we talked about it off camera, Michael, before you
yeah,
came on.
I really want them, even if it's similar to that little Garrett sniper coil that they made
Right.
for the um
For the Vortex.
yeah, the Vortex. It's
Yeah.
like a 5x4. Even if they
Right.
came
Yeah.
out with
Five
something
by
like
eight.
that,
It is
I would
beautiful.
be I'd be all over it. Coiltech is the only authorized manufacturer of non-mine lab um, affiliated equipment that's out there on the market.
Right.
Anything else that you buy is third party. While it may fit, different stocks and stuff like that, carbon fiber shafts, they're not technically licensed or authorized by Mine Lab. So when Coiltech develops their coils before they can release them to the market, even to be beta tested by field testers, Mine Lab does sign off on those and say, hey, we're approving this coil from you guys. And um, why exactly that is, I don't know. Maybe it's just because they just want to make sure that if these people are spending their time developing something, that the parameters in which it will function will be safe for the machine. I'm not sure. But, for whatever reason, I haven't heard any talk. Maybe it's because I think um, the Manicore, I think it does have a somewhat elliptical shape, or at least a smaller sniper coil
Yeah,
that mine
they have
came
the
out with.
five by well, they have the 5x8,
Yeah.
but it's not the same as that 10x5, which
No, I don't
it,
think anything ever
no,
will.
no, and I think that design is just special, and of course
Right.
XP has one for their machine as well, which is similar to it. It's got that pointed edge, and I think that just adds a whole nother dimension
Hmm.
to metal detecting and to
Right.
finding
I had an
finding that.
800, and I know Brian did too, and I had that coil, and that was my favorite coil, was that 10x5 Coil Tech coil.
Hmm.
Um,
I've got their 9x14. I've got their 15-inch round, and I've got their 18-inch round. That thing is surprisingly light. I like the 15 and the 18-inch better than I like the 14 by 9 that Cooltech makes. Nothing against the 14 by 9. It works great. I found good stuff with it. But for whatever reason, that 14 by 9 does not balance quite as well as even the larger two coils. And I definitely get more fatigued in my arm with that coil than I do any other coil
Right.
on the
Yeah, and
machines.
I agree with you, Andrew. I mean, I use all metal detectors for the most part, and
Hmm.
that's to me that's a coil that I know that I can pick up and I can go into a trashy site and I can retrieve targets and things out of that iron
Yeah.
running that Equinox 900 or the Xterra Elite or
Yeah.
or the 600 or 7. I don't have a 600 or 700, but if I did, I would run those
Hmm.
with it as
Yeah.
well because it balances that machine so well.
It
When
really
you add that
does.
coil down there, and
Yeah.
again,
And
go ahead.
for the listeners, I purchased that 10 by 5 myself before I became affiliated with Coiltech. So it's not me and my affiliation saying this is a great coil. I believed it was a great coil, and my money invested into it saying it's a great coil. And if tomorrow I got a phone call said, hey, we're doing away with the affiliation program, fine. I still think it is a great coil, and you're missing out if you don't have it.
Right.
right.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you 100%. I mean, I have no affiliation with Coiltech, but I love that coil. So,
I really do. Yeah, I really want to get I really want to get a Deus for that high frequency little elliptical coil, but
well,
I just
it is a great machine. And,
yeah.
and we have this. Of course, we always have this thing going back and forth between Mind Lab and XP, but I'm telling you, they're all great machines. I don't believe
Hmm.
one's any better than the other. I think they all have their strengths and weaknesses. Just depends on how you look at it. I love the Mind. In fact, the last hunt I did, I was using the Mind Lab Manicore, and I love running that machine. And people have seen me find some amazing finds with that Manicore, but I love my XP machine because that's the machine that um, sort of transformed me. I guess is the word that I would like to say, that really sort of brought out the finds and brought out the things that I was looking for. And
Hmm.
I've always been an XP guy as far as that part goes. But MindLab makes just such a very good, strong machine in so many ways, and you've got so many things to pick from too as well. So, um,
Right.
you know, it's hard for me a lot of times deciding which machine I'm going to run because they're both so damn good. When you
Yep.
think about, yeah, I mean they're both so good that it is hard to choose sometimes what you're going to run. And so I look at the sites, I look at where I'm hunting, I look at what I'm doing, and that's how I
Hmm.
sort of make my decisions. When it comes to this kind of stuff, is what am I looking for? What's my ultimate goal? I love the Mind Lab machines because they run so quiet in a lot of situations. But when you put that HF2 coil on an XP machine on that DS2, it runs so quiet too. So,
Hmm.
Yeah,
and you can
it
set it
really
up, and
does.
there's so many great settings. And then, we talk about the Manicore with the screen and all those different features that you have with that machine. I mean, it is a really, really hard thing to pick from. And I know the first time you and I met, I was all on the Deus too. But then the Manicore came out shortly after you and I met, and I fell in love with the Manicore too. They're both just such great machines that you can take either one of them out there, and you're not going to be
Hmm.
disappointed. You're going to find the
No.
things that you want to find, just simply because of how much these companies put into these machines as well. And I know that you love Mind Lab machines. But it
Hmm.
really makes me feel good too that you are thinking, hey, I might want to get an XP too and run that HF2 coil because you saw the benefits of running that Coltech coil with the
Hmm.
Mind Lab machine, and it made you think, hey,
Yes.
yeah, that maybe I do need to consider that too. And being able to run at that higher frequencies, I really think will benefit, especially where you're at. I know it will. It'll help you benefit in those areas that maybe you've hunted before, and you go back in there and you find some amazing things just simply because you've got those higher frequencies that you can run in.
Yeah, so I've got a buddy he's got a Deus, and he has pulled some really good deep stuff out that, um, even with my machines really dialed in and running some really big coils, he has just plucked him out. I mean, to the point where he got a couple Rev War buttons, a real nice Primo USA button, and it was so deep that even on the dais it sounded like iron.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was it was wildly deep, and as much as I hate to say it, I know that my machines would not have picked it up. If they
yeah.
did, it would have been a singular blip, and that was it.
Well,
uh,
you bring up a great point because I was hunting with a guy the other day that was running the Manicore, and I dug a Confederate lined eye button that his Manicore was telling him it was garbage. It was so
mhm.
it didn't give him any definite signal, but I knew it was just simply because I'd run that HF2 coil so much,
Yeah.
and I think that's where the HF2 coil sort of shines a little bit more, but again I've found things with that Manicore that the Deus 2 has missed too. So I can't
Yes.
say, with a definitive doubt that either one of those machines are better than the other.
Hmm.
I think they all have their particular tendencies and on certain sites they're going to perform a little better than what they perform on some of the other sites. So
Yep.
you know, it's just hard to choose, and
Yeah.
you know, I love that you're saying the same thing, because of course you and I are basically hunting in almost the same areas, and
Yep.
you know, we're seeing the same types of vines and the same types of soil and so on. So it really sort of backs up what we've been saying all along with a lot of people. Now, again, Andrew and Michael and I don't really hunt in highly mineralized soil, so we have the advantage of being able to really punch probably a little bit deeper in some situations, just for that simple fact that most of our soil is sort of sandy, and that helps us out. But you know, there sometimes we will get soil that can be a little bit rough in some areas, but not usually. Most of our soil is very, very mild, very neutral, and very sandy in a lot of cases.
Mhm.
So tell people a little bit about the sites that you hunt, Andrew, real quick.
I predominantly hunt colonial house sites. I haven't had a chance to detect a true Rev War era battlefield. I've detected sites that had some skirmishes on them or very close to them.
Right,
Um,
right.
Obviously, I would jump on the opportunity to hunt a site like that. I will hunt Civil War sites. I love doing that. I was able to do that in Texas a good bit. I know some people say Texas ain't the real South and blah blah blah, but there was a
Oh,
lot of
Texas is
Confederate.
South. Texas is
Yeah,
South, Matt, Andrew, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I know a lot of these young kids love to put little posts online about that, and it eats me up inside every time I see one. But uh, yeah, I military is ultimately my favorite. Coins are great to find. I'm thrilled anytime I find a good coin. To me, a good coin is, you know, anything 1800s and older. But when I was living in North Texas, to me, a great coin was early 1900s. It's all about where you live. You know, if you don't live in an area that has that history, um, you know, obviously, you know, if you're trying to find old stuff, try to find the oldest, you know, possible artifacts that you can. But
Right.
if you're hunting in a state like, oh, I don't know, like Oregon or something like that, you're probably not going to pull Spanish reals and whatnot. So you do have to be a little realistic with it. Um, Even to this day, if I find a Merc or something from time to time, it happens. I'm still happy, but my preference is colonial Civil War era.
Right.
I like hunting house sites, sometimes house sites that were close to battlefields or just house sites in general. Because back then, most people had family who served or were in the militia or soldiers passed through.
Right. Right.
So if you can't get access to that local battlefield or skirmish site, I would advise you to do a little bit more research into the surrounding area. Try and find some house sites that either could have provided strategic operations for soldiers moving through the area, whether it was access to fresh water or maybe high ground if they felt safe, or low ground if they were trying to potentially hide, maybe they were on the retreat. You can do some research into those avenues and find some local houses in the area or some just strategic points of geography, and you can still potentially get on military artifacts that way, just from they had to get from A to B. So you know they could only move so far as their bellies and their horses would allow them to,
Sure, yeah,
and
and it's the
wood came.
same. It's the same way here where we hunt too, Andrew. I mean, it's you know, you can get on a home site, and that home site could date all the way back into the 1800s, and you could find Confederate buttons, or you
Hmm.
could
Right.
find, you know,
Yep.
Civil War buttons, whatever it may be, War of 1812 buttons, because there were family members that lived in these houses for so long,
Hmm.
and you can find those types of things just simply because of that, and that's what makes that so fun about where we live actually.
Hmm.
So yeah, they can be all kinds of things that you can find on some of these old home sites. And of course, Michael's in North Carolina, and he has the opportunity to dig some really really old stuff too as well in his areas. He's got Civil War and Revolutionary War history in his area as you do. Real quick, Andrew, we always do a special on our show, and it is our metal detecting tip of the week. Do you want to share a tip real quick before we show our tip of the week? Is there something that you could tell someone on here that could help them on their metal detecting journey and help them out as far as a tip? Is there something you could share?
All right, I've got two tips.
Okay.
Whether you're new to metal detecting, you just got something, from like a Radio Shack type machine, or you've been in metal detecting your whole life, you're well versed in your different machines and coils and such. Anytime you get a new piece of equipment, you got to learn it. So make a test garden. If you like finding coins, or you like finding jewelry, or whatever it is that you like to find, if you've got some of that in your house, go out in your yard and, dig down 6 inches, dig down 4 inches, whatever, put it in a little Ziploc bag, cover it back with dirt. If you feel comfortable doing that, let it even sit there for a night, if that's something that you're okay with, and let it get rained on, and then go back with your machine, pull your little marking flag or your flower pot you put on top of it so you know
Right.
right where it is.
Right.
That is important.
You don't
Don't
want to
do it in
lose. You
like,
don't want to lose your
yeah,
wife's
let me,
wedding ring
well,
out there,
don't,
right?
yeah. Yes, yeah, that's a big one. Don't do it in like your tomato garden or something, because that's going to have a different mineralization content if you've brought in potting soil mixes and fertilizers than your natural soil. That's important. You want it to somewhat match the soil composition of where you're hunting.
Right. Right.
But go and do that. Change the depths, change the angle that it sits at. Swing your machine over it, change your settings, figure out, hey, if this thing is at 10 inches, can I make this machine in ideal conditions? Can I tune this machine so that I can hear it? What does it sound like? I did that with my 10 by 5 day one with a half real.
Right.
And within a month, I was at a site where I showed you a bunch of those reals in that case. I got a signal that was almost identical to the one that I did in my front yard when I tested it. It was a scratchy signal. I knew there was a little iron in the hole because I had tested it with a square nail in there, and I was like, this, I'm either going to get busted and it's just going to be one of those, you're going to dig iron. I don't care what machine you got. If you got a Deus 2 with that high frequency elliptical coil, you do dig. I'm sure you still dig a little iron. But I practiced with my machine, obviously in the field, but at home as well. I got to know it. I felt comfortable with it and confident with it. And that proved to be very successful for me. My second tip is, I don't care how much you practice with your machine and how well you think you know it, you'll get surprised. When
Right.
in doubt, when in doubt, dig it out.
Yeah, that's it. Let the spade
Yeah.
be the discriminator, as we
Yep.
Uh,
always say.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many times I've had a machine that I went, that's iron. And then I called my buddy over and he goes, yep, that's iron. And I said, you know what? I'm going to dig it anyways. And I
Right.
was pleasantly surprised. It may have just been a tiny little, uh, no fancy, no gilt, nothing, little cuff button, but I got it, and I wouldn't have if I hadn't dug the signal.
Right.
And
Right.
and I learned something. It's proof in the pudding that, um, no machine is going to definitively tell you the right thing every time. And number two, it's that anything can happen.
Right, you're exactly right, and we have talked about that quite frequently on here. Was that having a good test garden, but we don't want you to specifically rely simply on that test garden all the time. It
Yeah.
can give you great data and it can give you great information, but it's not the end all to be all based on where you're hunting because again, those conditions can change, but it is a good indicator of where you dig because again your soil type is usually very similar to the soil type that you're hunting on in a lot of cases around your area, so it does make it great to have a great test garden, but again, you know that situation is one type of situation, but it does give you enough data to sort of give you an idea of what you could possibly see. The good thing is it does give you the great target IDs, and
Hmm.
that can be something too for those people that are screen watchers. That can be something too that sort of keys them into, hey, I need to dig this target out in the field because of I've seen it in my test garden. You know, I've seen
Right.
that it
Yeah.
sort of reacts or something similar to it. Not that it's necessarily the same setup, but it's something similar to it. Depth wise, you can tell so much from a test garden. You can really tell how deep those machines are going to be, how deep that coal's going to be, and I do it as well. And you can go on my channel and you can see some of those things that are being shown as well, just like Andrew said. So that's an excellent tip. So we appreciate that, Andrew. We also have Michael's detecting tip of the week, and that is a regular part of our show, Andrew. So we're gonna hear from Michael for a few minutes, and then we'll pop back on here. We'll talk a little bit about what Michael says for his detecting tip of the week. So stay tuned. Let's check out Michael, and here he comes, NC Relic Hunter himself. Let's hear the detecting tip of the week.
Hi guys, I just wanted to hop on here and give my tip of the week this week. And my tip this week is, when you get a new machine or a new product for metal detecting, as well as anything you really get, and I'm guilty of this too. First thing I think you need to do is read the instructions that come with it. Kind of figure it out. And then, if you got it figured out, like these new headphones coming out from XP. I don't know. They should be similar to the same ones we have, but I know there's a difference as far as charging. You have to use a single cable. You just want to make sure that you know everything that goes into using, whether it be a machine or an accessory. After you read that manual, a lot of people have great videos out to help you. Thanks.
So that was Michael's detecting tip of the week. Michael, you want to add anything else to that?
No. I mean, not really. I think that pretty much covered it. I mean,
So when you're using a new machine, which a lot of us tend to ignore, we don't ever read up about it. We just think we're
right,
going to be able to take it out there and go out there and start finding things. And sometimes that's not how it happens. And
right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these machines, sometimes the manual doesn't help you at all, but it pays to read it, and sometimes you get good information from it. But there's a lot of folks like you that release videos helping people with their machine. But the first thing I would do would try to read the manual, and sometimes it's tough
well,
to
we're all
figure it
men,
out.
Michael. They say men
Right.
don't that we don't read manuals. We just take it out there and start using it, right, Andrew?
Yeah.
We think we know everything when it
Hey,
comes.
I'm guilty of it. I'm
Right.
metal detect enough. I know how to use this thing, but a little instruction can't hurt, right?
Right, that's
Right.
exactly
I mean,
right.
I'm guilty of it myself too. Um,
FLX said the same thing. Us men don't like to read directions or manuals. And
I agree with him. I've done the same thing.
and we are
Um,
so, I mean, I know we get like this. We're so hard headed. We think we can figure it out without looking at that thing. And we will beat our head up against a brick wall trying to figure it out before we will pick up that manual. And
well,
but no,
I've done that at the house. Start putting something together that you bought. We'll get
yeah,
halfway through it and realize it's wrong, and you got to
I
start over
know.
again. That's when
We're
you grab
Yeah.
all
that
we're
manual.
all guilty of it. So, that's a great tip because again,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes it's just so simple. It's just picking up that manual and reading it and actually getting familiar with it and making sure that we understand the machine, what it's doing and so on. So again, it is one of those things. So, real quick, I'm going to share one more thing. So, recently I went out with the Manicore, and I know some of you have watched the video that I put up just recently, but there may be some of you that haven't. And I was running the Manicore, and the Manicore was acting sort of wonky on me, but it produced an amazing find. So I'm going to show that real quick. It's only about a 2-minute video, but I want to show that to you guys and just let you guys take a look at it and sort of see what was going on with this find. And it turned out to be a great Civil War button. So let's take a look at that real quick, and we're going to show that next. So you guys stay tuned, and we'll be right back. So let's take a look at this Civil War button find. We got a 3332 with a perfect trace on the MineLab Manicore. Let's hope it's not a shotgun shell, but if it is, it's okay. Dug a couple of little things, but nothing major yet. So let's see if we can get us a button out of here, maybe. See if we got it that time. Oh gosh, we got us a two-piece. We got us a two-piece button. Oh wow. I think we got us an eagle. Let me clean this off. Wow, that was deep too. That was really deep. I'm almost positive this is an eagle. This is a General Service Civil War button. I'll take a look at that. So I have to work on this one a little bit more, but that's what it is. All right, well you guys got to see it. That was the Manicore running all-terrain low conductors, and this thing sniffed it out. Nothing in the crest, it's just the regular shield. So it is a General Service two-piece button out here in the middle of these woods. You guys can see pretty deep in here. So that one was in pretty rough shape. Did you see that? I know Andrew's probably dug a few of those, right, Andrew?
I've dug a few.
Yeah.
Yours was in better shape than the first one I ever got, so
Yeah.
it
Well, I
ain't
dug a
it ain't
bunch
too
of
bad.
them. I dug a bunch of them, but I really found that interesting the way the Manicore was responding to that button. And I don't know if it was
Mhm.
because it was so deep or whether it was because it was mixed with some other things too. It was ringing up sort of lower than what I normally see from those types of buttons. And it might have been because of the deterioration of the button as well. So it was really sort of interesting the way that button was responding. Michael, what do you think about that dig? I mean, I
You're
know you've
right. It could
watched
have
it.
been the shape of the bud. No, I mean, we know there's a lot of iron in that area because I've hunted there. So
Yeah.
um, they
Um,
could have pulled that signal down.
well, and 5 Miles saying that dirt makes me jealous, but that dirt was not kind to these buttons that I dug the other day. And I know Andrew probably deals with better dirt than we do because it's a good bit of sand. I mean, Andrew, do you encounter a lot of bad dirt down there that really harms the buttons?
Yes, I really don't get into that sugar sand, that you're probably talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that that Peter Ellis refers to, if you
Yeah,
know
Peter
him, that
Ellis.
sugar
Yeah, I
sand.
love
That's
Peter.
that's that's really more down in like the Beaufort kind of Bluffton, Hilton Head area, if you
Right.
will. Um, I do a lot of kind of coastal and marshy digging, so I'm dealing with a lot of really often wet dirt.
Right.
I wouldn't call it mud, but I wouldn't call it like, oh, it just got a little rain on it. Like,
Yeah, I know what
we're
I know what you're
getting,
talking about too.
yeah. I mean, there's times where like I'll bring a change of clothes with me before I leave the house, just because I know I'm going to come home and it's not going to be your regular dirt. It's going to be like, I wouldn't want to get in a work truck the way I look when I get done.
Right.
But I deal with a lot of brackish water in some of these tidal areas that I hunt, or years of um, tropical storms and stuff have influxed onto the land over the banks, and so I get a lot of deteriorated buttons, just I mean, crusty as can be. I've tried often some aggressive methods, some very slow methods, and I've definitely found that signals can get wonky coming from a salty, marshy environment,
Oh yeah.
even in good condition. Even wonkier signals than you'd expect with it having an iron nail or two sitting in the hole with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, we
that's one thing I was going to mention just real quick is that um, sometimes going out after a fresh rain can be a little bit more beneficial. You'll get a little bit better reading than if you have dry dirt.
right, right. So,
So,
that button sort of responded sort of weird. Like I said earlier, I really thought it would have rung up a lot higher in the 40s more than
mhm.
in the 30s, which most of my buttons do. And it didn't have an iron back. I know somebody just mentioned that a few minutes ago, but this one did not have an iron back, and I don't know whether it was a mixed target because it was really deep, and whether the manicore was just sort of, because it was so deep, it really couldn't lock in on the ID as good, or it could have been that there was something that was masking it, that was dragging it down to that 33, 32, which I was really sort of surprised with that dig. And I mean, it really caught me off guard. I'm just going to be honest. It caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it to be a Civil War button because of the way that it was responding. And, I just thought it was an interesting dig. And for it being so deep, and I was running the 9-inch coil on the Manicore, which I love the 9-inch coil on the Manicore. I think it's by far just one of the most unmasking coils that you can get with that machine, and it really did a fantastic job of unmasking that target and finding that target and hitting that target so deep. That target was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of between 10 to 12 inches. And you saw me, I had to reach down. I mean, I had to reach down and scoop out a couple of handfuls of dirt down at the bottom of the hole to actually get that target out of the ground because that's how deep it was. So yeah, it was a crazy dig, and that was the first. And what was so funny is that was the first hole I dug on that site that day, and it turned out to be a two-piece Civil War button, which was just crazy. But I dug 9 other buttons after that, and some of them right beside. So really, really good. So yeah, it was a crazy dig. So I thought I would share that because it was really, really cool that I did dig that. So again, Michael, what do you think was going on there? Do you got any ideas?
Well, you've mentioned before that area there at the you kind of get a little jumpy signal. I don't know if it's something in the soil there or because it's pretty open if I remember right. There's
Right.
not a tremendous amount of iron right there, so I don't know if there's something in the actual soil there that's causing that. It's pretty close to a marsh if I remember right, isn't it?
Well, it is to a place where they have a duck impoundment. So,
Right.
yeah, I think because of it being flooded quite frequently with brackish water, like what Andrew was just mentioning, that could be causing it to respond maybe a little bit differently too. What do you think, Andrew? You think that could have played something into that?
I think so. To me, from where I dig, the soil that you were in looked a little drier.
Yeah, it was.
Um, And I have found that in very dry soil conditions, when targets are deeper, whether they have conflicting signals in there, you've got masking with iron or not, especially if they're on edge or at a weird position, you're not getting the big surface area reading, you're reading like that coin or button kind of on edge.
Right.
I definitely find that targets are going to ring up lower than you would expect, and
Right.
that's what I said earlier. Just dig it,
Right.
because I
Yeah.
can't
Well, I
tell you
mean,
how many times.
I was gonna dig it regardless. It was just so
Yeah,
weird the way it was responding,
yeah,
and I'm so used to that manacle really honing in on that, and the target trace on it was not good either. So that was the
hmm.
other thing that sort of threw me off because that manacle is really reliable a lot of times with the target trace that you'll see on the screen. But of course, the audio keyed me in on it. And we always say audio trumps, anything on that screen the majority of the
Hmm.
time. And so I really thought that was, that was really interesting that it responded the way that it responded. And, I was glad I dug it. Don't get me wrong, but man, it was just interesting the way that played out there as well. So, a couple of other things too, just some real quick housekeeping things that I want to do real quick, guys, and you guys hang out for just a second. One other thing I want to mention is DigStock is coming up. You guys that are interested in DigStock, if you are, it's March the 5th through the 8th, and you guys can get signed up for it, and you can purchase your ticket on here. So if you are interested in DigStock, check out the link in the description for this video, and you can get signed up for DigStock, and you can join in with everyone March 5th through the 8th. Michael and I will be there at DigStock, so you can come by and say hey to us. We might even go out and go metal detecting with you if you show up for DigStock. So definitely come and check us out. That is in North Carolina, March 5th through the 8th. So if you are interested in coming to the event and just having a great time and have the possibility of finding some great relics and artifacts, then check out DigStock. Again, the link for purchasing your tickets will be in the description. And the other thing I want to mention tonight is check out our main sponsor of our channel, Mr. LMS Metal Detecting, Mr. Mike Kyle. His information is on here. If you're interested in buying a metal detector, maybe for Christmas, or maybe you're going to convince your wife to go out and purchase you a metal detector or a metal detecting accessory, then go check out LMS Metal Detecting. He's got some great deals going on right now as everyone's getting ready for Christmas. And you can get that metal detector of your dreams from LMS Metal Detecting. So go check out Mr. Mike Howell at LMS Metal Detecting. He's in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. The phone number's down there, 843-457-2795. And he can get you hooked up with anything metal detecting related. Mike is a great guy. He lives in our area, and we really love supporting him. And he is a great supporter of our channel. So check out Mr. Mike Howell at LMS Metal Detecting. Go check out all the latest and greatest deals that he's got. He sells all of it. He sells MindLab. He sells XP. He sells Garrett. He sells Nocta. He sells it all. So go check him out, and he can get you hooked up with anything that you are looking for. And the final thing for tonight is to make sure if you are interested in getting in on our Christmas raffle, we've got the Christmas raffle for an Equinox 800. So if you would like to get in on the raffle, all you have to do, and some people have already done it tonight, is leave a $5 super chat or super thanks on this live stream tonight, and you can get entered in for this Equinox 800. And this Equinox 800 is coming with a pair of wireless ML80 headphones, as well as a sniper coil as well. So you get all of that. It's a $799 value that you can get, and you have the possibility of winning. Whether you need the machine or whether you want this machine as a backup, it's a great machine. You heard Andrew just talking about the Equinox 800 and how it is a great machine and how that's one of his primary machines. It is an awesome machine. And for $7.99 and you getting it for the possibility of a $5 entry, that's a pretty good deal. So if you are interested in getting in on the raffle, all you got to do is leave a super chat or super thanks on here tonight for $5, and that enters you for the raffle. We will be doing that raffle the week of Christmas. So stay tuned to Southern Relic Adventures, and we will let you know when that raffle is going to occur. So you definitely want to get in if you're interested in getting a brand new metal detector, an Equinox 800. So definitely check that out, and hopefully some of you guys will get in on that and get in on the raffle as well. So again, Andrew, what do you think about that Equinox 800 that we're raffling off?
I think that's a dang good deal.
Yeah, I know, for $5.
It is.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
get in for $5, and hopefully some of
Yeah.
you will take advantage of it. I see some people already. Jeep Girl's already in. She says, "Hey, who doesn't need another metal detector?" I couldn't disagree with her, because I've got plenty, and I know a lot of people would like to have more as well. And what a great machine the Equinox 800 is, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is an awesome machine, and I know a bunch of people have gotten in on that raffle. So again, a $5 super thanks or super chat will get you in for that raffle.
Yeah.
We're going to try one other thing tonight. Now we've never done this before, and I hope this works the way that I think it's going to work. We're going to be doing our giveaway tonight. So if you've hung around this long, you've been with us for almost an hour and a half, and we got 33 people on here, which is really good. And so we'll take those 33 people, and we're going to be doing a giveaway tonight. So for our giveaway tonight, we're going to be doing one of our, if I can get it out here, let's see here. We're going to be doing one of our giveaways, which is for a Southern Relic Adventures t-shirt. So we're going to be doing a giveaway for a Southern Relic Adventures t-shirt. And all you have to do to get in on that giveaway, if you look over in the chat, is you need to do hashtag SRA. And there it is. And you guys can see it there in the chat. If you would like to have a giveaway for a Southern Relic Adventures t-shirt, and I'm going to be honest with you, most of the sizes we have left are double X. I think we got one XL. So they're mainly big boy sizes. We got a couple of double X's, and we have some triple X's. So we got mainly the big boy sizes, right, Michael? We got to have the big boy sizes, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So if you would like to do that, hashtag SRA, put that in the live stream chat, and we're going to try to do this giveaway. And hopefully this works. If it doesn't, then we'll do something else. But all you got to do is do that, and we will go over here to our, let's see if we can find it real quick. Let's find our giveaway page. There's our giveaway page. I got to drag Andrew in here over here on the giveaway page. Yeah, we got to get him. There we go. So we got to get in here on the giveaway page, and there we are, real quick. And we're gonna let people get a chance to get in. You get a free T-shirt. Just let me know what size. There it is, right there. A little SRA action, and put in hashtag SRA, and we're gonna put that in the YouTube comment picker, and let's see who'll be the lucky winner of an SRA t-shirt tonight, Southern Relic Adventures t-shirt. And let's see what somebody says. He says, John, you can wear it over 10 layers of clothing in New York, right? Because it's cold up there for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So hashtag SRA, and let's put in our let's do this real quick. I'm going to flip over to you guys real quick while we're waiting. And I'm going to switch over here and do our, because I have to put in a YouTube link. So let's do that real quick. So Andrew, do you have any plans to go hunting in the near future, or what's going on with you?
Well, opening day of second split of duck season's coming up in a couple weeks, so I'm definitely going to be out there on that. Um, there's potential if I can break away from work, I might be able to get out and do some detecting out in Allendale, South Carolina,
Right.
sometime late next week. I've kind of got a lot on my plate coming up for December. Um, Wife and some friends of mine are going to be in the Charleston Boat Parade.
Oh
We
wow,
try to
that's
do that
really
every
cool.
year for Christmas and whatnot. But I definitely want to get back out and do some detecting. I've got a deer in the freezer. I've got a couple ducks in the freezer.
Yeah,
Um,
I like it.
and I am on more the metal detecting hunting side of things. I am definitely getting mentally geared back up to get back out there and start swinging a machine. I'm just um, I grew up doing a lot of hunting with my dad, and grocery store prices haven't been going down, so I've been doing a little bit more meat hunting of recent, and it's just like I said, well, early on, some of my permissions and such have kind of backed off for the minute because of their hunting and whatnot. That I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna be happy with what I can do right now. I definitely want to go to DigStock. There's a chance I might get to go to that hunt up in Virginia. I think it's Mike Spears. I think is putting it on.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, that's a great
and
one.
pardon?
I said you're talking about the hunting in Virginia, the
Yeah,
yeah, the detecting in Virginia hunt. That's a great one.
yeah. I'm signed up for it. I just got to get the go ahead from the wife. It's the same month as our anniversary, so
I
she
get
gets
that.
yeah.
We
She
got to
always
keep
likes to do yeah.
keep
She
the
puts
wife
up with
happy,
me
right?
and yeah, she puts up with me and all my crazy, hey, sorry, I'm not gonna be home as soon as I thought. I just got a deer and now I got to figure out what to do with it, situations and whatnot. So I love to make her happy, but I definitely plan on getting out and doing a bunch of hunting next year. Um, Diving also kind of was my newer thing I got into this past 12 to 18 months. I started scuba diving for the fossils, and it was just so much fun. And getting into that, as much as I
Right.
hate to say it, detecting it did take a little bit of a backseat for the past year, but it's not gone. It's not forgotten. I still remember my roots.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I get it. I get it. So we're getting a lot of people in here that are really interested in that T-shirt tonight. So um, that's really really cool, Andrew. I know that if you go out, you're going to find something really great and amazing as you always do. So so do you hunt with
Hopefully.
a lot of people around Charleston, Andrew, or do you really hunt by yourself? What's your
I really don't like hunting by myself. I will, but I love going out. I've got a couple buddies that I really just love to hunt with.
right?
We get along really well. They're easygoing people. Whoever drives, we generally try to chip in for gas with each other and snacks and foods, and it never fails. One of us will forget to bring bug spray or something, the other one's got it. So I don't hunt with just everybody out here, and it's not an offense to anybody. It's just I found my hunting buddies. That
Right.
said, if someone was to pop up and say, oh, I'm getting into the hobby, can you help me? I'm happy to help. I've definitely taken people out before. I'm just selective about where I take them out to,
Right. I
you know.
get you. I get you.
Um,
Hey, we deal with
but
that all the time. I mean,
yeah.
I keep my group sort of small as you can see.
Mhm.
There's my hunting partner over there to your left on the screen. But I have a couple other guys too that I love to hunt with. I love to hunt with LMS Metal
Yeah.
Detecting, Mr. Mike Isle. I hunt with Surfside Dan. I hunt with Mental Metal, if you know who Mental Metal is. So those have mainly been the main guys that I mainly, sort of go. If I go hunting and I'm wanting someone to go with me, those are the guys that I usually do. So I get it 100%.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about a DigStock event is that when you go to those types of events, you get to meet all these people, you get to make new friends, you help build community, and you just get to go out and enjoy the hobby. So that's what makes those types of events so much fun.
Hmm.
So we got a few people that are getting in on this giveaway, and I think we're going to do our drawing here now. So it looks like we've got a bunch of people in here. I see a lot of comments. I see a lot of hashtags SRA in here. So we've got 74 total participants.
74.
Yeah, I don't. Well, you know what? I might not have eliminated the more people putting in one more comment, so I
I
might have
think
to
I think
fix that.
that's
Yeah.
what I
We
hate
don't have
because we don't have
74
any
in here
people in.
right now, so some people have doubled up. That's good though. Keep commenting. I don't care. Let's see who's going to win. By the way, we've got a viewer from Austria right on here right now that is watching our show. Thanks for joining us all the way from Austria, and that's pretty cool to think we're reaching all the way
Yeah,
out to Europe. Yeah. So again, we appreciate Kevin for being in here. I think his name's Kevin there. I've got it blocked off here. Yes, Mr. Kevin Tochner, all the way from Austria. And he says he hopes we find what we're looking for. So let's do this drawing real quick. Let's see who's going to be the lucky winner of and we'll have to hit refresh as I just saw somebody else join in as well. So let's see who's going to be the lucky winner of this great looking t-shirt, an SRA t-shirt. You can wear it proudly to your events and on your metal detecting adventures, and hopefully everyone will enjoy wearing this t-shirt. I do have one XL. That's the only one I've got left, and I've got a few double XLs and I have a few triple XLs. So if you win, again, you need to email me at sransc@gmail.com, and it is in the chat right now. And I just posted it, so make sure that you email me at that address. And I put CPM, but y'all know what it means. sransc@gmail.com. And let's see who's going to be our lucky winner tonight. We're going to back out of this, as I know I saw a couple people get in late, so we'll give them the opportunity to be a part of this. So let's go back in and we will put this up and let's do our drawing. Andrew, again, thanks for being here tonight. We
Well, thanks for
appreciate you.
having me.
Oh yeah, and man, what a great amount of information you share with our audience. And again, go check out Andrew at Andrew's Adventures on TikTok. Andrew, do you have a YouTube channel by chance?
I don't have a YouTube channel. I do have an Instagram. It's Andrews Adventures _SC. There's not too much different on my Instagram that's from my TikTok. If you scroll way back far on my Instagram, you might find some old college pictures or something of me on there, some of me playing guitar or something, but
Yeah.
that's about it. I do eventually plan on probably transitioning more to Instagram. I just have a bigger following on TikTok.
Right.
Um, and so I'm trying to kind of figure out really just kind of the algorithm on Instagram, how it works. There's a lot more to Instagram than TikTok, I
Oh,
think.
trust me, I know. I'm on
Yeah.
Instagram, and it's a beast. To be on
Yeah.
Instagram, and then try being on all of them. Like I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. I'm on all of them, and it's a chore. It really is when
Oh,
you
I'm
do it like
sure. Yeah.
that. So we're gonna do this drawing, and it's still showing we got 75. So we're gonna see how that is. But anyway, somebody's gonna win. If you are the lucky winner, then again, sransc@gmail.com, and that will help you get your prize. You must email me with your address. You must be present in order to win. So again, thank you so much, Andrew. Let's do our drawing right now, and let's see who's going to be our lucky winner tonight of the Southern Relic Adventures t-shirt. And we're going to do that right now. So let's see who it's going to be. And we're doing our little countdown. We started off at 10. We're going down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's going to be the lucky winner? Chip 246, I believe is what I see there. Chip, are you in the house? Let's see if Chip is in the house. And we're going to wait to hear a response from Chip. And if Chip is not here, we will do this all over again. So we're going to wait on Chip to see if he's here.
Let's see.
Chip, are you here? Chip 246. Still waiting on Chip. Michael, let me know if you see it before I do, because mine's a little bit slow. But you must be present to win. We're only rewarding those people that have stuck around. Lance just put up his, so Lance is going to get in late. Says congrats. Chip's here. He says he's here. I see it. Chip is here. Congratulations, Chip. And we appreciate you for joining in tonight and winning the SRA t-shirt tonight. So thank you, Chip. And again, Chip, just reach out to me at sransc@gmail.com. And you are our lucky winner tonight, Chip. So thank you for joining in tonight. And we really appreciate that. I'm going to put my email in here real quick. And Chip can send me an email with his mailing address for the t-shirt. And there it is. I just posted it. It is in the live chat. So Chip, definitely let me know. Thank you so much. Let's look here. Chip gets I think Chip gets a certificate. It'll even let you post like a certificate. It's actually really cool. Let's see here. Yeah. So Chip is our winner. So let's see what this looks like. I've never done this before, so this is something sort of totally new. Let's see what Chip gets a it shows his thing, but apparently it won't let me do it. But anyway, Chip is our winner tonight, and Chip, we appreciate you for joining in with us. And Andrew, thank you so much for being here tonight with us. Any parting things you guys want to share with everyone before we get out of here?
I was gonna say, with that $5 entry that you're spending for that 800, you got a lot of money left in your pocket to buy that Coiltech 10x5 coil.
There you go. There you go, Andrew. Get that Coiltech coil to go
that's
with
true.
that with that 800. Right?
Yeah,
If you
I'm
win
telling
that,
you're missing out if you don't have it.
Yeah, that's right. It's a great coil.
Yeah. So we've got some great guests lined up, and again, I know we've been on here a little bit longer than normal, but Andrew was such a fantastic guest. We had to stay on here a little bit longer, right, Michael?
Yeah, that's right. It's a good guy.
And he shared some amazing finds. He shared with us his insight into running the Mine Lab 800, 900, the Coiltech coil. Giving us a couple of great tips. So we got some great information tonight from Andrew, and we're always excited to have a fellow South Carolinian on here, which makes it even better. Even though he's Texan, really, he said he was Texan, right?
I am by birth, but my ancestors, I've traced them back. I actually know I've actually found their plots of land where they lived, but my first relatives on both sides settled in Berkeley County, right outside of Congaree, South Carolina, and then the others in the Steel Creek area of North Carolina. So ultimately, I am Carolinian at my roots.
There you go. Well, that's what we like to hear. And a lot of people are saying nice show. And, of course, Andrew was a great and fantastic guest, as I knew he would be, because I met Andrew almost what, 2-3 years ago we met
Yeah.
at the show down in Charleston, and we've communicated quite frequently on TikTok. And I said, you know what? He's going to be a great guest. He can talk about fossil hunting. He can talk about relic hunting. He can talk about Coltech coals. He can talk about mine lab machines. So I knew that he would run the gamut for everything that we love. And so that's what made it so great having Andrew on here tonight. And Andrew has been a fantastic guest. Congratulations to Chip on his giveaway win tonight of that SRA t-shirt. And again, Chip, make sure that you email me with your address. We'll get that out to you as soon as possible, and you will have an SRA t-shirt. Please make sure you tell me your size, as I've only got 1XL, but if you need 2XL and 3XL, I should have you covered. So let me know on that as well. But what a fantastic show. What a great Friday night. Thank you guys so much for being here on a Friday night. Let's flip back over here to our three-man crew here. And Andrew, we got to have you back on again. Would you be willing to
I'd
come back
love
on
to.
again later on?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was an awesome show, and I can't thank Andrew enough for being here and taking his time out on a Friday night. He's got a wonderful family, and he told me, "Hey, I'm running a little bit late. I had to pick up my daughter, so we know family comes first."
I
Michael
was
knows
running
that
late
very
too.
well.
So.
Yeah, everybody was running late tonight except for me, and so. But anyway, we were all good. And again, thank you guys for being here on a Friday night. Go check out all of our content on Southern Relic Adventures. Go check out our main man here, Mr. Andrews of Andrews Adventures on TikTok. Man, he's got some great stuff up there. You guys just,
Instagram.
yeah, you're on Instagram too. So go check
Right.
him out there. You just saw some of the amazing things that he finds. He's sharing history, and he does some amazing things. So again, we're glad to have Andrew on here tonight, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. And again, we got another great show coming up real soon. So definitely tune in next Friday night and the Friday night after. We've got metal detectors. Bree is going to be on here with us. Metal detecting Bree Tectorus is going to be on here with us, so you can plan on seeing her, and she's going to be giving us her insight as well. And she was on here earlier, and she got in on the giveaway, and she's also entered in on the raffle too. So come and check us out. We've got some great shows planned for the next couple of weeks. And maybe we'll have some new products that we can talk about in the next few weeks, which I think those things are coming too as well. So, again, stay tuned for Southern Relic Adventures. Go check out our latest hunt videos. It's a good one. You got to see one clip with us digging that Civil War button, but there are tons of other things too that we dug, and we had a fantastic time. So go check out that video. Go check out all of our other content, and we appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Get out there and find some amazing things. And thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you, and have a great weekend. And we'll catch you guys. Andrew, hang out with us for just a second. But we will catch you guys on our next adventure. Take care, guys, and we appreciate you watching. Have a great weekend.